Get ready, Chicago. Coming Friday, August the 17th. It's the concert and party all Chicago's talking about. It's the Freestyle Explosion, featuring 10 of the nation's top freestyle acts, all performing live under one roof with Luis Damon, Naomi, Nocera, Chicago's own Law, Lisette Melendez, Noel, Joey Kid, Fast Forward, Laura, and Shana. Freestyle Explosion 2012, featuring 7 of Chicagoland's top DJs: Mickey Mixon Oliver, Tim Spinnin' Schommer, Charlie Chaz D, Martino Spinnin' Ramos, Sly Hula Hula Fox, Joe Jam Master C, and DJ Babalu. Tickets are available online at clubtix.com. Freestyle Explosion 2012, August the 17th at Excalibur Nightclub. Don't miss it. And of course, it's a Tony Batoy Big Z production.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while, and a lot of things have happened since then. It was a surprise to get invited to this thing. I was a little skeptical in the beginning because I wasn't sure of I haven't done it in so long. It's been that long. So I was like, you know what? But let me ask my Facebook friends, and I just thought, you know what? I got an overwhelming response, and the public always wins. You know what I mean?
We're talking about August the 17th. Luis Damon returns to Chicago, the city that fell in love with him so many years ago. It is a huge lineup, including, you know, the woman who I like to say the freestyle queen, Naomi, who was putting out music that wasn't even labeled as freestyle until after it was already years old. And Chicago's Law, Tim Schommer, Nelson, and Joey Kid, and Noel, and Mickey's going to spin, and Shana from Chicago will be there. Nocera's going to celebrate summertime here, Lisette. I mean, it is an incredible lineup. And if you looked at the lineup and there was any one name that was going to be the surprise, it would have been Luis Damon, because you've not been around. Well, you've been around. They shouldn't say you haven't been around. But in terms of the freestyle game, you haven't played for a while.
Absolutely correct. I stopped. I signed a deal with Warner Latin Latina in '96, which changed my entire career from one day to another. And I just started, doing the Latin stuff since then. And I dedicated my life, my existence to that music. And not that I ever. It was just I evolved into something else. And not that I looked elsewhere. It's just where my life took me. It was what it was at the time.
And the interesting thing that you did, and I noticed, and I gave in my 2 cents worth, before you signed the deal, before you decided you were going to come back to Chicago for the Freestyle Explosion 2012, you went to your Facebook or your Reverb Nation or maybe your MySpace or Twitter, I don't know how many of these accounts you have, and you said, yo, there's an opportunity, but I want to know whether or not you really want me to do this. You were asking fans who have followed you forever whether this would be a good idea or not, and I'm telling you, that thread was so long.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I owe it. They're really the main reason I do it. Because the fact of the matter is that I won't be rich or poor from doing the show. So it wasn't a monetary thing. And the second reason was it was Chicago. Chicago has a special place in my heart, no matter what. And to sing the song that I haven't sang in so many years, it'll be kind of interesting because I've seen the chatter about the song. I've seen the underground movement that the song has created for whatever reason, and I was like, wow, really? I really had no idea. Maybe I was out of the loop. Maybe I was doing some other thing, but I didn't understand the impact that particular song, Should Have Never Let You Go, had done throughout the years. And hey, it'll be cool. It'll be cool to watch. And it doesn't happen every day, something like this. So I thought, I said, why not? It'll be great. It'll be fun, and it'll be great to be back in Chicago.
People are skeptical, like in everything. Like when someone new comes out, they're like, let me just look at what she has. Let me hear what she has. And when I finish doing my show, they give it up. And a lot of them are into me because I'm a very down-to-earth person, and I don't come from a glamorous world. I'm very, I grew up not having anything, and I'm still striving, and I'm still struggling to get from point A to point B. Although I've done all this music in the past, I'm still, it's still kind of a battle to keep. It's maintaining. That's the hard part. But they have accepted me, and I still have a long way to go. And just once they hear me sing, and once they open their minds, it's kind of like a little difficult, because I'm like a new artist, so I can't talk about the past, because I'm trying not to forget about it, but I'm trying to start something new here, that not everybody that listen to freestyle is gonna buy this album. You know what I'm saying? And the people that are buying it, half of them are people that don't even know who I am, really. They're going based on what they've heard on the radio, so they don't really know much about me. So it's still like I'm still a brand new artist, and I'm still trying to get them to know me. But I've been received well, thank God.
Now you'll be in Chicago for Fiesta Boricua this weekend, Division Street, Chicago, which is like the hub of the Puerto Rican community. You're going to have one big giant Puerto Rican flag sculpture by Clemente High School. And then on California Division, another huge flag which leads into Humboldt Park. You're going to be deep in the heart of Humboldt Park, and these are going to be the people who are seriously fans of the music that you're doing. How different is it now performing for these people than maybe it was before?
Well, I was always wanting to perform with the band, because having a live band is like another level. But unfortunately, this is a promo that I'm doing, for the whatever. I'm not gonna get deep into it, but I only brought 2 dancers with me, which is kind of like, I feel a little missing, because I'm used to now having a 13-piece orchestra behind me. But it's gonna be interesting, because I'm gonna do my salsa songs, and I'm gonna have the girls, and hopefully, depending on the crowd, I don't know what they're about, I don't know what type of music they listen to, I don't know if they know who I am, but depending on what vibe I get, I might incorporate and do like one of my old songs.
That's right. We saved a couple of little secrets for you.
Well, that's what we held on for. Of course, before the How We Do, we heard Summertime, which, I clear my throat as I say this, comes out in 1986.
Right.
So if Summertime was a child, it'd be like a college senior right now.
Say it again. I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
I said if Summertime was a child, it'd be like a college senior right now. 21 years old, Sleeping Bag Records. One of the things that people may not know so much about you, even though you're now stationed out of the East Coast and you were known for a long time for your freestyle music, you're not so much from the United States, are you?
No, actually, I was born and raised in Italy, and came actually for my music inspiration for the United States. So I came here to the United States and started working with a producer that took me to Sleeping Bag, and we got signed right away.
I didn't notice that until I was looking up some information on you, but I do remember speaking to you on the phone and saying, this is not an East Coast accent, but I couldn't quite place it. Now we know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people I had different ideas about where I was from. A lot of people thought maybe because of my accent I was from France, from Turkey, different nationality. I don't recall all of them, but I was always surprised that they couldn't point down, except like a bum on the street one time.
Oh, get out of here!
Walking by, he said, "You are Italian, Sophia Loren." And I said, "Look at that! Just a simple bum on the street. He will identify where I'm from, but nobody else could."
Well, it could have been, too, your looks, because I've looked at some of the pictures on your MySpace page, and you've got an exotic look about you. Maybe that's what he was talking about.
Well, I remember back in the heyday of freestyle, one of the reasons that it had become so popular was that the young Latino audience could relate to a lot of what was happening in those songs. It wasn't just instrumental house music. It wasn't just, the Devo punk music that was coming out as well. It was stuff that if they listened to the lyrics, they could sit there and say, you know what, this is a situation I was going through. And a lot of it was I love you, you love me, but some of the good songs, the better freestyle songs, were very relatable to young people.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I had a lot of people come up to me and say, hey, that song's Fat Money. It helped me get through a lot of stuff, and that's a good feeling, and that's exactly my point. It's a way to preach to people that, hey, you're not the only one. Other people go through this too, and if this can help you get through it, then more power to it, man.
You know, it sounds like your experiences in the music business, for the most part, have been positive. Is that just the portrayal that you're giving me right now, or has it, for all that time, actually been pretty good? Because I've conducted other interviews where I've had to hear horror stories of record labels, producers, promoters, and this is why freestyle died, and this is why I had to get a real job, and this is why I don't put out records anymore. But you sound pretty much okay with what's happened in your career.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, there are a lot of aspects to the music industry that are a real turnoff, you know. But you don't really want to talk about things like that, and you know, it's the same with any job. You know, there's always going to be somebody you don't get along with, or something that you have to do that you don't really want to do, and that's the same thing, you know, with the music biz. You know, I mean, it's you know, that there's sometimes you have to compromise to something that you don't really feel 100% about.
Did you have some guidance back then when you were just young and starting out that allowed you to avoid some of these pitfalls that some of the other artists that I've interviewed would talk about? And maybe it was that you started a little, you know, you were a little bit older than some of these other kids that started off as teenagers and ended up signing these long-term deals for very little money. I mean, it sounds like from day one you were able to watch out for yourself and not get involved in any bad deals.
Yeah, you know, that's I don't know. There's one thing that I was always able to do, and that's pretty much make sure that I got a fair deal no matter what I did, and even before I got into the music biz, and I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, I didn't get totally ripped off, you know.
Because I'm fairly certain that you would know some of the people that I'm talking about.
Because I'm a dancer. No, you know what? I think, you know, first of all, not in high school. I was a little bit out of high school when I was, I mixed at a teen club in Wisconsin, in Madison, Wisconsin, where I grew up, and was there for a couple of, what year?
No, I said hey there.
Oh, yeah, hey there. Yeah, thanks. Cheese. And then I, you know, worked and you know, I played dance music. I mean, I was in high school. They used to have this team. I used to go and I heard records, and I'm like, man, God, you know, and I used to, my collection was in the club. I used to, every would go shopping. I'd go, I'd practice, and it was so much into what I'm doing, just the whole dance scene that went on. And then somebody comes more open in Chicago, be interested in going out and part of that, you know, after mixing in a teen club in a bar in Wisconsin, and I, you know, not seeing much of a future, I said, yeah, maybe I'll do that. So, you know, 2 weeks later, I'm living in Chicago, and I don't know anybody, you know, and all I knew, there was a cool record store called Imports, Etc. that I was getting a catalog from, and I said, I don't know anything about Chicago. They did this before MapQuest, and we're just going to drive down and see if we can find it. And we were driving to Congress, and I go, oh my God, there's Plymouth Court, and that's where you know, did one of those Batman turns, and we went, you know, and we found the record store, so I went shopping there, and you know, that's where we found our gold, you know, those record stores, Gramophone, etc.
The very first Loose Touch Stores Lamont in-store was at Imports, Etc. back in '88 or so. They had done the Aragon Ballroom, you know, for Pinky at the time. It was a Halloween event, and we were driving them around because we were their first interview. They knew nobody. Right. Chris and I hit it off, and we just drove them everywhere in Imports, Etc. That was their thing. Cool. Well, I guess quickly in a nutshell, maybe you can give us a little bit on the history of Fast Forward, the musical group. I see three names on the label, 2 guys in front of me, and a total of 4 involved.
But the situation that happened there was that originally the group was 3 people, and 2 of them just decided to do other things, like go into commercials and go into modeling or something. I mean, they just went the other way. Nobody expected the record to do what it's been doing. So then I formed another quick group with me and Louie, who happens to live in my same building.
Okay, so you 2 are now Fast Forward.
Yeah.
Let's scratch these names out.
Let's do it. No, only kidding. Just kidding.
Where's the pen?
Yeah, my Harv pen is still... You notice I'm wearing the same clothes I wore last night?
Really?
I slept here last night. Ozzy's car kind of...
Don't smell, man.
Ozzy's car kind of broke down.
Oh, really?
So they couldn't go all the way back. So it was like, Harv, we gotta let you go now. And so I stayed here and I slept at the station. So here,
well, you walked all the way here. Did you get here before 7:30 or something?
No, I got here 2:15 in the morning, and I slept. And
that's a little personal joke.
So, just so you don't think that I'm like a dirty guy.
Yeah, can you make Louis talk? Cause he never speaks in these interviews. He's always like hiding. He is.
This is Louis. He's another part of Fast Forward.
I'm knocking on wood because I've heard horror stories of people.
I don't know. I guess it depends. I mean, if you go out there and say, I am in command of the stage, this is my show, this is what I'm going to do, then maybe you won't have any problems. Sometimes,
sometimes they take it adversely and they're like, you know,
who is she?
Yeah, exactly. But no, I've had really good crowds. For the past 6 months, I've been doing really well, and everyone seems to respond very well. So,
for those who plan on going to Navy Pier tonight, what type of performance should they expect? Do you have anybody else on stage?
No, it's just me, and I sing 2 songs, and I don't know, I dance around a lot because it's just me up there, so I have to fill the stage.
Right.
And it's just real high energy.
Have you run into any wild situations that you performed at these different places?
Well, sometimes people get like crazy, you know. I know not to like touch people's hands in the audience and stuff because sometimes they like
an arm afterwards.
Well, like they pull you, not meaning to, but they're like, shaking your hand and you're like, hey, wait, stop, you know. So, but not really anything terrible because there's always security around.
You think so, huh? This is Chicago, man. You're on your own.
No.
And I put her together with a young producer named Andy Panda, who was 18 at the time. So I took an 18-year-old producer and a 15-year-old singer, and he brought me a demo, which was very Latin-y, disco-sounding. And the name of the record was Please Don't Go, which I believe was the first real freestyle record. And what I did was, when I found this sound, I did the same thing I did with the Fever. I went and opened a nightclub which was catering to this music. So I opened a club in the South Bronx, not too far from the Fever, called the Devil's Nest, which is another Bronx legendary club because we discovered freestyle music out of the nightclub. There wasn't no records yet on the radio. And I went out and I found a DJ, like I did with Grandmaster Flash, and his name was Little Louie Baker. And he was just playing in parks, and I brought him indoors, and the club took off.
And now it's time for this week's Millennium Moment. Tonight we feature another 60 seconds with one of your favorite celebrities exclusively on the Millennium Radio Network.
How did your first CD wind up doing? Because I'm looking at the copyright date on it. I guess it was 2 years since its release.
It did pretty good. It did decent. You understand the Latin market, the population is much smaller. So the expectations are smaller. For example, there's a 50,000 is for gold in the Latin market, and 100,000 is platinum. That's a platinum album in the Latin community. So we did 50,000. We did our gold. Got my first gold record. I have it home.
Congratulations.
And thankfully, and the second one hopefully will do much better. It's just a growing process. It's getting stronger. The name is getting stronger, and everyone's getting more excited. I did a duet with Olga Tañón, which is like the Queen of Puerto Rico.
I was going to bring that up in a little bit. That's an amazing accomplishment from one CD to another.
Yeah, you know what it is? I make good friends with the right people, and I guess I come across well, fine to them, and they have this confidence with me, and we grow together. I mean, I was talking to Victor Manuel and Gilberto Santa Rosa. These are great names.
That was a Hot Jams Millennium Moment on 1240 AM. If you have a personal Millennium Moment that you would like to share, call us at 773-792-1240 and keep listening to Millennium Radio Network.